A little while back I did a video just showing parts of a worship set that we did at my church, and I let you listen to part of my in-ear monitor mix, and I talked a little bit about the clicking that you heard. The clicking was just a metronome just to keep us musicians on time together, but it was suggested that I do a video about how to use a click track. So today I'm going to talk about why we use a click track and give you a very simple way to get started using a click track with your worship team. As musicians, timing is really important, and one tool we can use to help us keep time together is a metronome. A metronome is a tool that just sets the tempo and it just keeps it steady. It sounds like this. You can adjust metronomes by beats per minute or BPM. So 60 BPM is just the same as a second hand on a clock. There are 60 seconds in a minute, 60 beats per minute. Each beat would be a second long. So 120 beats per minute is double that. I used to really dislike metronomes. The teacher would be like, practice to metronome, and I'd be like, okay. And my high school band teacher would be like, you have to count the beats. And I'd be like, yeah, we'll see. I'll probably just follow my heart, see how that goes. But it turns out that counting beats and staying in tempo is really important. Like, a huge part of music is timing and rhythm. So learning to keep a steady beat and play to a metronome is super helpful. Here are some reasons why it's helpful to learn to use a click track. These days, almost all modern music is recorded and even performed to a click track. Modern music rarely has tempo changes. So modern music rarely gets slower and then faster. It rarely ebbs and flows with the tempo like classical music does. Even when a tempo change is needed in modern music, they just adjust the click track to speed up or slow down as desired. So dynamics in music, loud and soft, need to go up and down, but tempo needs to stay the same. We tend to want to change our tempo with dynamics. When the song gets louder, we tend to want to speed up, and when a song gets softer, we tend to want to slow it down. We sometimes think louder means faster and softer means slower, but when we do this, it actually creates a little bit of an uneasy feeling for the listener. And staying together on the tempo keeps the band tighter. When different band members are playing the beats at different times, even if they're just a fraction of a beat apart, it creates a sloppy, muddy, messy sound. Even if your ear can't distinguish that the beats are not falling together, your brain knows that something isn't right. We will hear that the music sounds unclear or not as clear as it could be. Also, when a band is not playing really tight together, it robs the dynamics of the impact that they could have. We love music that is really tight. It makes the beats pack a punch. But when things start to fall apart, that energy is robbed. So energy in music comes from dynamics, how loud or soft music is, and then also rhythm and subdivision, how long or short the notes are. Not necessarily the tempo of a song. We can actually create energy and motion with our dynamics without changing the tempo. But that's a video and a topic for another day. Just a couple more reasons why I think it's great to use a click track. It paves the way for being able to use multi-tracks or backing tracks or stems with your band. If the band is comfortable playing to a click, then they'll be comfortable if you add in a pre-recorded instrument, such as if you don't have a bass guitar one weekend, just play the pre-recorded bass guitar along to the click track, and the band will be able to play along and it'll sound great. I also think it's good for young musicians to be comfortable with a click track and to develop that skill. Since most music is recorded and performed to a click, and I really value developing young musicians, I want musicians that come from our worship ministry to feel comfortable with a click track. That way, if they go on and decide to pursue music professionally or play in bigger venues, they'll be comfortable with the tools that are used there. So enough rambling about the reasons why you should use a click track. I'm going to head into the church office and I'll show you a very simple way to get started using a click track. Alright, so let's talk about a simple way to use a click track on your worship team. You do need to have in-ear monitors set up. That's because you want the musicians to hear the click, but you don't want the audience to hear the click. So you want to send it into the band's headphones. I have seen it done where just the drummer has in-ears and only the drummer can hear the click, and that works okay. But if the drummer ever has a part of the song where they need to drop out and come back in, the drummer can never really drop out completely. He'll need to stay in on the hi-hat or something so that the band knows what the tempo is. Basically, the drummer will always have to play as long as the click is going. He could turn the click off, turn it back on, that sort of thing. So it is possible. But if you want the whole band to really stay tight, it's probably best to have the whole band on in-ears and send the click to everybody. On our team, we use a phone app called Tempo, and this video is not sponsored by Tempo. I wonder how sponsorships work. Anyway, there's a free version of the Tempo app, and if you want to use it for practice just as a metronome, it's great for that. But if you want to create and save a set list of different tempos, you'll need to purchase the Tempo app. I think it's about $5 or something like that. So let's take a look at the Tempo app, and I'll show you how we use it. I should say that there are many ways to run a click track, and the Tempo app is just one of them, and it's probably one of the more simple ways. So let's take a look at it. This is what the Tempo app looks like. I have a set list that we've used in the past loaded up here, and I'm not going to go through all the features of the Tempo app. This isn't a video about how the Tempo app works, but there are a few tricks that I've learned in order to make this work well. Up in the top left corner, we have some different views that we can choose. I'm usually in this middle set list view when I'm building the set list. And so that looks like this. But during the service, I'll often go to this gig view, and that just makes it look a lot more simple. You can see the set list, and then you have a big play button, a forward and a backwards button. We also use this Bluetooth air turn pedal to control the forward and the backwards buttons of the Tempo app. Now here are a few tricks that we use to make this work for us. Because we only have forward and backwards, we also want to be able to have the click stop and start. So what I've done is I've created a set list that looks like this. The first track is just blank. I named it with these dashes here. And it is just a single beat, which I've muted. You can have the beat accented, just normal, or just turn it off so it doesn't sound at all. So I have a single beat, it's at like 10 beats per minute, and when I push play, it's clicking, but I've turned it off so there's no sound. So that's our first track. Let's go back to the gig view. So now when I hit the next button, it'll go right to the next track, Oh Our Lord, at 114 beats per minute in 4/4 time. Let's hear that. And then track number 3 is another blank track, so when I hit next, it effectively just stops the click. And then when I hit next again, it brings us into doxology. And when I hit next again, it stops it because it brings up this silent track. So that way during a service, all we have to do on the air turn pedal is hit next, 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 next. Next to start a song, next to stop it. And that makes it pretty simple to use. So there you have it. That's a pretty easy setup to run a click. Just create a set list and then plug your phone into the sound system so that you can send the signal from your phone into the musician monitors. Hook up the Bluetooth pedal to your phone and then just give that pedal to your drummer or whoever on your team is going to be running the click track, and you're all set, you're up and running. So I hope that's helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. If you hit that bell, you'll be notified of new videos when they come out. And don't forget to tap that thumbs up button. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.